The principles and power of planting. True story. A successful Christian businessman was growing old and knew it was time to choose a successor to take over the business. Instead of choosing one of his directors or his children, he decided to do something different. He called all the young executives throughout the company together, and he said, "It's time for me to step down, and I need to choose the next CEO. I decided to choose one of you," to the young executives, "and I'm going to give each one of you a seed today. One very special seed. I want you to plant the seed, water it, come back in 1 year, and then I will make my choice based upon what grows." The young executive that was in the back, his name was Jim. Jim didn't really feel like he really should have been there, but he was in that position of a young executive, and so he got his seed. And they all took their seeds home. They planted them. They did as the CEO said. They watered it and they tended to it. A couple of weeks went by, and Jim looked at his pot, and there was no plant. He was okay with it, but until he went to work and he began to hear the stories of the other executives who said that things was growing out of their pots. He continued to tend to it, and repeatedly he did what he thought what he should have done in order to cause growth of the seed that the CEO had given him. But yet, the more he tried, the less things happened. In fact, nothing happened. Every day he would come to work, and there he was, talking with the other executives, and they were referring to the prolific growth that was coming out of their pots. Year went by. Nothing in his pot. Upon talking to his wife, he said to his wife, "You know, honey, I don't know how in the world I can bring this pot to the meeting. Everybody else has growth but me." She said to him, "You need to be honest. Just take your pot." They all came on that day, and there brought in the pots and the various executives that he had worked alongside, large plants coming out, and the boardroom was so full that you could barely see Jim in the back of the boardroom with a pot with nothing. The CEO came in and took an assessment of what he was in the boardroom, and he looked around, asked about their efforts. Each one had a great story. Then there in the back, there he mentioned to Jim. He saw Jim. He said, "Jim, you want to bring your pot up?" Jim brought his pot up. He says to all of the young executives that was there, he says, "I want to introduce to you the next CEO of the company." What? He says, "Jim is going to be the next CEO because After hearing Jim's explanation of how he planted the seed and tried to cause it to grow, I believe that he's the only one that can lead you because he's the only one that planted honesty. You see, all the seeds that I gave every one of you, I boiled so that I would make sure that it would not grow. Jim is the only one that was honest enough so you need to be careful what you plant. It will determine what you reap later. I thought that this story would help you because I need you to understand, what are you planting today? I texted you last night because I needed you to be here for this word. What are you planting and what do you plan to harvest?